Good evening. At this time, I'd like to call the Germantown Municipal School District School Board meeting to order on this September 18th at 6:37. I apologize for the delay of our meeting. At this time, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Ms. Parker, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next is the approval of our agenda. We have a couple of changes. We are going to pull 8B, new policy HR 5.6, staff rights and responsibilities, and add 8B, 6.409, child abuse and neglect, first reading, and add 9C, Houston Athletic and Band expansion project. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Agenda has been approved. Next is recognition and awards.
First, I'd like to say happy birthday to Nick Staub. But second, people don't always get to choose if you're going to be a hero. Life's going to throw challenges at you. Things are going to happen. And it's those decisions that you make in a split second that really define who you are and how you respond to pressure. Tonight, we are recognizing 3 boys who exemplify our goal of rising to whatever challenge we face. One weekend in August, these 3 boys were taking a routine fishing trip when Nick's father, Bob Staub, was pinned under their vehicle. The boys pushed it off his head, saving his life. It is that type of split-second decision-making, that type of bravery that we really want to recognize in Germantown Municipal School Districts. So I'd like to recognize, and we can have them all come up, Riley Goff, Nick Staub, and Paul Husband, if they would come up, please. And our second recommendation or recognition is for Miss Rebecca Lorenzi. She's ill this evening and she sends her regrets, but we would still like to recognize her. Miss Lorenzi was recently named the Tennessee Teacher of the Year by our Tennessee Arts Education Association, We are fortunate to have such a talent in our classrooms. So we would like to recognize Ms. Lorenzi for everything she does every day, and we're sorry that she's sick. And that concludes our recognitions. And so as we always say, don't feel like you have to stay for the board meeting. Feel free to go out and celebrate a birthday if you need to.
You won't hurt our feelings.
Not at all. Bye, Paige.
Next on our agenda is our reports. First is our TLN update. Ms. Jones?
Yes. Just as a reminder, but it'll be here before we know it, the 111th session will reconvene on January 9th, 2018. This fall, in preparation, I've spoken to the superintendent, and we're going to be inviting our legislators in individually to have an opportunity. We have done this in the past, but also to take an opportunity to talk to them specifically about items that we would like their help with, so that then when we have our legislative breakfast in January, we can reinforce that message. So he and I are working through that agenda, and hopefully by the time we will get that information out to everyone. Also, just to let everyone know that in the work session, we do have resolutions that we will talk about later, that we are working on preparing resolutions for vouchers, for property surplus, and for a vetting committee to be able to take to Nashville at our annual meeting in November, so that we can help develop the legislative agenda for TSBA. Lastly, I wanted to mention that there's a joint education committee meeting on October the 24th at 1 o'clock in Nashville. It will be to review House Bill 501 and Senate Bill 481. This bill would add the funding of 3 RTI instruction positions within each public school to the BEP. That is something that I will be attending that meeting. Anyone who would like to attend that meeting, I think a show of strength and force for that would be great. This is an opportunity to add something and get ahead of it into the budget for BEP for this next budget season. When I was talking to Ben Torres from TSBA, he is very excited about the opportunity for them having this meeting, and I think it would be also an opportunity for us to have all of our legislators together on that joint education committee to help our voice. Maybe we might mention vouchers while we're there, but just an opportunity for us to get some more face time with them. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Next is Chairman's report. We want to thank the City of Germantown's mayor and aldermen for their continued support of our school district. Our district has accomplished a great deal financially, academically, as well as improvement of our facilities in a short time. The vote by the aldermen on 9/11 for the resolution for the bond will help us move forward to build our much-needed elementary school. And the design review committee, made up of our stakeholders, is working towards the design of our new school, and we all look forward to seeing the new design shortly. And finally, hats off to our 3 new mascots at our schools. We have a new Dogwood Dolphin, Farmington Falcon, Riverdale Raider, who faced off at the mascot battle at the Houston High School football game Friday night. I think everybody enjoyed seeing them out there, and I believe the winner was the Farmington Falcon. So go Farmington Falcons. Yes. Next is our superintendent. Oh, I do this every time. I skip over you, Mr. Jones.
That's okay.
Every time. Our financial report, Mr. Jones.
All right, you have the financial reports for the 2 months ending August 31st, 2017. Within the school operating fund, we have total assets reported at roughly $10.2 million. I did want to mention on the revenue side of things, we have an additional $285,000 coming from the city for maintenance of effort. So that will be.
We don't see the reports. I don't see the reports are on it.
Virginia. Let's see if the reports are on it.
Okay. They're not showing you. I'll check one.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. So just wanted to mention the additional maintenance of effort coming from the city. So we'll have an additional $285,000 above what's budgeted. and this is with the reappraisal. In the federal projects fund, we show or report roughly $140,000 in reimbursables due from the Tennessee Department of Education. The cafeteria fund, roughly $141,000 in total assets and liabilities and fund balance. Capital projects, $1,062,000. Health insurance, right at $1.6 million. Also wanted to mention on the expense or claim side of things, we've had several large claims in July and August, about $188,000 in claims that are greater than $10,000. So we will continue to monitor that and report that to you as well. The OPEB trust, right at $1.7 million in total assets and liabilities and fund balance. And then plant, property, and equipment, right at $66 million.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Next is superintendent's report.
I think I just spoke for the past hour and a half, which is really my report on where we are in our strategic plan. But I would like to give a few updates. The city did go to bond for our new elementary school, and so we should be receiving that money at the end of September, and we are in the process of trying to schedule a closing meeting for that new property, which is at Forest Hill and Poplar Pike. It'll be an exciting time for the district, and as we've talked about, we can't wait to show you the plans that the committee has been working with, and we'll do that shortly. So exciting things coming. I did come back from the superintendent's conference in Gatlinburg, which is more like a work session than a conference. I don't want you to think I'm out there having a fun time. It's where the State Department really presents data and initiatives for the year that we're doing. And I can't tell you the excitement around Germantown schools. We are going to have a lot of people who are traveling here to see what we are doing. We didn't just score the best in one test subject, it was in all the test subjects. And the growth component added with that too was phenomenal. And so it's an exciting time for Germantown schools, and everyone wants to know what we're doing here that's working so well. So exciting times for Germantown. And that concludes my report. And I would like to say I thought the Raider was the best.
You're just saying because he's sitting in the audience.
I thought the dolphin was the cutest.
Next is citizens to be heard. Do we have any, Mr. J? No, we don't. Okay. Next is the approval of minutes from the 8/21 board meeting.
Consent agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry, consent agenda, I'm sorry. Next is the consent agenda. On the consent agenda is the approval of the minutes from the 8/21 board meeting, the 6.409 child abuse and neglect, first reading, the review and revision of policy, second reading of the separation practices for tenured teachers, separation practices for non-tenured teachers, credit recovery policy, grading policy, testing programs policy, English learners policy, the policy HR 5.117, teacher tenure, first reading, policy 2.703, audits after first reading, and the community engagement advocacy plan. All of those are on the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I move approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Roll call. No discussion on consent.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Wolf,
Yes.
Ms. Landers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion is passed. Next on the agenda is the contract to audit accounts for year 2017-18. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the contract to audit accounts of Germantown Municipal School District activity funds, internal school funds from July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Ms. Parker?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Ms. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Landers?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion is passed. Next is the resolutions for TSBA. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the 3 resolutions to TSBA 1, 2, and 3 of 2017-18.
Second.
Discussion?
Chair, I just want to thank Ms. Parker for her work on the resolutions, particularly with the vetting committee. I think it's innovative, and I think it's something that our cohorts across the state are going to appreciate, especially as we've seen legislation impact the classroom in ways that legislators are unaware of. So thank you, Ms. Parker, for your work on that.
You're welcome. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Wolf?
Yes.
Ms. Landers?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Parker?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion is passed. Next on the agenda is 9C, support for the Houston Athletic and Band Expansion Project. I might mention real quick, this is a group that is fundraising for a band and athletic facility. They came to us earlier in our work session. They have secured pledges just under $1.7 million in 4 months, including a donor for the primary naming rights of the building. Tonight, they would like our board to give their support for this project. This is not a financial support. This is just a support for them so that they can continue on this project. One of the reasons that we wanted our own school district is that we can work together with our community, with our city, and with our school district so that we can do projects like this to support our schools. Tonight, we'd like to give our support to this group. Do I have a motion?
I move that the board supports the Houston Athletic and Band Expansion Project as a priority status expansion project.
Second.
Discussion?
Chair.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I wanted to speak to this because, as I said in the work session, and I think I need to reiterate, the strength of this project is that it incorporates both an athletic premise and a fine arts premise. It supports both the band and athletics. And I think when you look at a project bringing people together and building community, this is the kind of project we want to support, and hopes that what it does is it spurs more impact in the future for some of the other projects that we have in mind and are hopeful to see done, that being, and I'll just put some bugs in people's ears, we'd love to see a new auditorium. We'd love it. We'd love to see another gym. So just, you know, I think this is the beginning of a wonderful start to our district of seeing this kind of partnership. So thank you to the group for working so hard on this. And $1.7 million in 4 months is really, really impressive. So thank you.
Ms. Jones?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to the team that's been working this through. It is not an easy task, and I really appreciate the work and effort. I think this shows the community outreach that we have, and I think that we've only at the tip of the iceberg here. I think we have a lot more to go. I also wanted to say that, you know, when we talked in the work session, that the priority status is really what we're talking about, is just giving this team the support that they need for the project and providing the resources to help manage it as we look at this, something that's being done on the district's property, that we really are looking forward to that partnership as we move forward, and really applaud your efforts. So thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Landers,
An enthusiastic yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Ms. Parker,
Another enthusiastic yes.
Ms. Fisher,
Yes.
Ms. Hoff,
Yes.
and thank you so much. That is another enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Motion is passed. Any new business?
Chair, I just wanted to mention the St. Jude Childhood Cancer Race Run Walk that's happening this Saturday. Our district is a supporter and a sponsor, and we will have a tent out there on the St. Jude campus. Anyone who is running and walking, please stop by. It starts at 4. I believe the activities start earlier than that, probably around noon, but I have heard it is just an event to be seen and experienced. So my family will be out there. It will be a great experience. And each of our schools are participating, and I can't wait to see everybody out there.
Thank you. Just a reminder, let's see, September 25th, we have the TSBA Fall District meeting for our board, and our next board meeting is October 23rd. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.